The sirens cut through the humid air of Falcon Bay Naval Base, sharp as a blade. Handcuffs snapped shut, the metallic click echoing in the officer's lounge. A woman stood in the center of the chaos, her wrists bound, her face unreadable. Lieutenant Connor Briggs, all swagger and medals, held up a silver coin dangling from her neck. "She bought this fake online," he bellowed, his voice carrying over the laughter of the crowd. Phones flashed, capturing every moment. By morning, the video would hit 5 million views. Stolen Valor caught live. But in the interrogation room, the air shifted. The woman, Cara Dalton, sat motionless, her winter steel eyes locked on the wall. When she spoke, her voice was low, precise, and chilling. She described the weapon configuration of a top-secret strike unit, details no civilian could know. The laughter died. An NCIS agent's hand trembled as she made a call. "Code SQ9 confirmed," she whispered. Minutes later, Major General Douglas Rains entered, his face paling as he saluted. They hadn't arrested a fraud. They'd captured the Ghost Warrior of Shadow Squadron 9, a unit that, officially, never existed. The hours earlier. The fog clung to Arlington Heights Military Cemetery like a shroud. Rows of white tombstones stretched into the mist, each a silent testament to sacrifice. A priest's voice drifted through the chill air, heavy with grief. Chief Ryan Hale survived 3 tours, but the war he couldn't win was the one inside. Cara Dalton stood 20 feet from the ceremony, alone. No uniform, just worn jeans and a faded gray t-shirt. Her hand gripped the silver coin at her neck, its edges biting into her palm. She wasn't crying. She'd forgotten how. But memory didn't care. A flash of desert night, gunfire, an explosion, dust choking the air. Ryan's voice, desperate. "Stay with me, Cara." Then silence, black as death. Back at the cemetery, her lips moved, barely audible. "I'm sorry I couldn't save you." An older woman approached, her face carved with loss. Mrs. Hale, Ryan's mother, her hands trembling. "You served with my son?" Cara nodded once. "Yes, ma'am." Mrs. Hale's eyes glistened. "Come to the officer's lounge tonight." "He'd want you there." Cara hesitated. The wind sliced through her, colder than it should have been. Stepping onto a naval base surrounded by uniforms was a risk, a reckless one. But she owed Ryan that much. "I'll be there," she said. That night, Falcon Bay Naval Station. The officers' lounge buzzed with music, bourbon, and salt air. Memorial decorations hung limply by the bar, a reminder of the day's wait. Cara sat in the corner, her posture too rigid for a civilian, a glass of water untouched before her. Her eyes scanned the room, cataloging exits, faces, threats, a habit she couldn't break. A group of Navy SEALs laughed near the bar, their voices loud, careless. Lieutenant Connor Briggs, mid-30s, chest heavy with medals, led the pack. Beside him, Ensign Tyler Vance filmed everything for his social media followers, his phone a constant extension of his ego. Briggs spotted Cara, his eyes narrowing. "Who invited civilians?" The group laughed, but Briggs's gaze lingered. He strode over, beer in hand, confidence dripping like sweat. "Ma'am, this is a military event." "You lost?" "I was invited," Cara said, her voice steady. "By who?" Briggs pressed. "Mrs. Hale." The table quieted. Briggs scoffed. "Ryan's mom?" "You knew Ryan?" "I served with him." Laughter erupted, sharp and mocking. Vance grinned into his camera. "Served where? The Navy gift shop?" "I'm not here for trouble," Cara said, her tone unshaken. Briggs's eyes caught the silver chain at her neck. He reached out, yanking it hard. The coin snapped free, clattering to the floor. The engraving glinted under the jukebox light. SQ922147. Briggs picked it up, smirking. "Shadow Squadron?" Cute. Then louder. "She bought a fake coin online." Phones rose like vultures. Vance's voice boomed. "Stolen Valor. Caught live at the memorial." The crowd's laughter turned to judgment, their eyes pinning Cara like a specimen. She stood slowly, deliberate, her voice cutting through the noise. "You should give that back." Briggs laughed, but his step faltered. "Or what?" Her eyes locked on his, sharp as a scalpel. "You'll regret touching it." The room tensed. Briggs gestured to the MPs across the lounge. "Captain, we've got a faker impersonating an operator." Captain Aaron Mallister approached, flanked by 2 officers, their flashlights slicing through the dim light. "Ma'am, I need identification." Kara handed over her driver's license, nothing military listed. Mallister frowned. "No record of service." "Where'd you serve?" "Classified," she said. The room exploded in laughter. Vance zoomed in, grinning. "Classic faker move." Briggs folded his arms. "You're under arrest for impersonating a service member." Mallister hesitated, something about Kara's composure unsettling him. "But procedure was procedure." She turned, hands behind her back, the cuffs clicking into place with a practiced ease that made his gut twist. Mrs. Hale pushed through the crowd, tears streaming. "Wait, she's telling the truth." Briggs stepped between them. "Ma'am, your grief's clouding your judgment." Kara glanced back, her voice soft but piercing. "Your son was a hero. Don't let them forget." Mallister led her into the cold night, phones still recording. Vance's voice echoed, "That's how you catch stolen valor. 10,000 views in an hour. By morning, 5 million. As the door shut, the coin lay forgotten on the floor, its engraving catching the jukebox glow, SQ9 22147. No one knew what it meant. Not yet. Interrogation room, 0100 hours. Fluorescent lights buzzed, casting harsh shadows. Kara sat at a steel table, wrists cuffed, blood drying on her knuckles from a scuffle she hadn't started. Commander Paul Riker flipped through a thin folder, his frown deepening. "Kara Dalton. San Diego address? Civilian occupation? None. No military record. You don't exist." "Then you're looking in the wrong database," she said, her voice calm, precise. Riker's jaw tightened. Lieutenant Briggs leaned against the wall, smirking. Captain Mallister stood silent, his eyes flicking between them. Riker leaned forward. "Who are you pretending to be?" "Who gave you that coin?" "I'm not pretending," Kara said. "And I earned it," Briggs laughed. "Sure, Black Ops alien cover-up?" Her eyes flicked to him, then back to Riker. "Something like that." Riker slammed the folder shut. "You walk into a memorial, flash a cheap coin, and think we won't notice?" Kara didn't flinch. Briggs stepped closer, his tone dripping condescension. "I've seen real operators. You're not one." "You've seen them," she said, her voice cutting like glass. "You've never been them." Briggs's smirk faltered. Riker caught it, his own lips twitching. "If you're real, tell me something only an operator would know. Standard weapon loadout for a classified strike team." Silence pressed against the room, heavy and suffocating. Then Kara spoke, her voice steady as a metronome. "Short barrel 5.56 suppressed platform, 10.4-inch barrel, helical suppressor, low back pressure design. Dual spectrum laser, thermal overlay sight, Picatinny rail offset, 45 degrun. Gas block replaced after 300 rounds under sustained fire. Sidearm, 9mm subsonic milled slide quick detach compensator." Riker's pen froze. Mallister's eyes widened. Briggs's grin vanished. Kara continued unrelenting. "Breech pack. Magnesium core linear charges, 2 det cord loops for door frames or vehicle hinges. Primary entry under 12 seconds. Exfil radius 1 kilometer. Silent comms, no digital trail." The room went still. Riker cleared his throat. "That's not public information." "Then why ask?" Kara said, her gaze unyielding. Briggs forced a laugh, but it cracked. "She could have read that online." Staff Sergeant Dean Harper, guarding the door, stepped forward. "Sir, look at her hands." He lifted her wrist gently, revealing calluses at the base of each finger, burn scars along her palm, and a faint slide bite scar. "That's from a 1911, thousands of rounds." "Not recreational," Mallister nodded slowly. "That's no hobby shooter." Riker slid the coin into an evidence bag. "Explain this engraving." "SQ9 22147. It's my number," Kara said, her voice low. "For a unit you won't find in any system you have access to." Riker glanced at Mallister. "Contact NCIS. Ask about SQ9. Before Mallister could move, the door opened.
Special Agent Lauren Pike entered, NCIS badge flashing.
Everyone without top-level clearance out. Briggs snorted. "You can't—" 10 seconds, Lieutenant, Pike said, her voice like a blade. He stormed out, the door slamming behind him. Pike set a tablet on the table, scrolling rapidly. Her face paled. "Where'd you get that coin?" Operation Cold Meridian, Kara said quietly. Pike froze. That operation doesn't exist. Exactly. Pike made a call, her voice urgent. Sir, we have a situation. Code SQ9. Yes, it's her. She hung up, staring at Kara like she'd seen a ghost. The fluorescent light flickered, and for the first time, Riker realized he wasn't in control. The hallway outside the interrogation room went silent, save for the slow, deliberate echo of boots. Every MP snapped to attention before the figure appeared. Inside, Agent Lauren Pike lowered her phone, her hands trembling. Code SQ9 confirmed, "She's alive." Kara Dalton sat still, her eyes tracking the shadows under the door like a hunter reading terrain. She knew who was coming. The door swung open, and Major General Douglas Rains entered, flanked by 2 black uniformed guards. His presence was a force bending the air in the room. Briggs froze, jaw slack. Even Commander Riker straightened instinctively. No one expected a 2-star general at midnight. Rains studied Kara, his face a mask of disbelief and recognition. "Unlock her," he said, his voice low but unyielding. Mallister hesitated. "Sir, that's an order, Captain." The cuffs clicked open, the sound sharp as a gunshot. Kara flexed her wrists, the red marks fading against her scarred skin. She didn't thank him. She waited. Rains turned to Briggs. "You filed the arrest report?" "Yes, sir," Briggs said, his voice tight. She was impersonating. Rains's tone cut like wire. He stepped closer, his presence towering. "You put a camera on a classified asset and streamed it to the world." Briggs stammered. I didn't know who she was." "You didn't ask," Rains said. "That's worse." The room went cold. Briggs's eyes dropped, shame burning his face. Rains turned to Kara. "Where have you been all these years?" "Off-grid," she said softly. "Helping people no one sends aid to." He nodded, his jaw tight. "Shadow Squadron 9, 19 missions, 5 theaters. Officially you don't exist." He lifted the evidence bag, the coin glinting inside. 11 coins were issued. "This one belongs to Operator Dalton. SQ9 22147, Pike whispered. "I've only heard that number once, in debriefs we weren't supposed to keep." Rains set the coin on the table. "They fought wars that never made the news. When it ended, we erased them to protect us all." Kara's eyes flickered, not with anger but with memory. 10 now, she said. "Marcus didn't make it out of Yemen." A heavy silence followed. Rains swallowed. "I read the report." "I'm sorry." "Don't be," Kara said. "He stayed behind because of me." A flash of fire and sand filled her mind, then faded. Mallister stared, speechless. "You were one of them?" "The last one active." Kara nodded once. Rains' voice dropped. "Roll up your sleeve." She hesitated, then complied. Gasps rippled through the room. A black trident tattoo surrounded by 10 stars marked her arm. Beneath it, SQ9. Senior Chief Alan Mercer saluted sharply, his eyes wet. Rains followed, then Pike, Mallister, and even Riker, his hands trembling. Only Briggs stood frozen, pale and shaken. "They didn't all come home," Kara said. "But they're still with me." Rains gestured to the wall camera. "Cut the feed. No footage leaves this room." Mallister switched it off, the red light dying. Rains turned to Briggs. "You live-streamed classified material and humiliated a war hero. You're suspended pending tribunal. Effective immediately." Briggs couldn't speak, his eyes meeting Kara's, guilt and regret warring within. She looked back, not angry, just tired. Rains handed her the coin. 11 operators, 11 numbers. You carried yours through 19 missions where failure meant exposure. Kara traced the engraving. SQ9 22147. "Marcus," she whispered. "I'm still carrying your number." Rains exhaled. "You're coming with me. Where to?" she asked. "Somewhere off record," he said, "where we can talk about the future." Dawn, Harbor Point Safe House. The SUV rolled to a stop, the ocean's murmur faint in the distance. Inside, Rains placed a folder on the table, Fort Ridgeline Integration Program. 3 female candidates, he said. The first of their kind. They're drowning, Kara, and they don't know it yet. "Why me?" she asked, rubbing the scar on her palm. You've lived their future. He slid the folder to her. Photos, names, scores, Avery Locke, Aaron Walsh, Jordan Price, young, fierce, untested. They reminded her of her old squad, faces she'd led through hell. I'm not a teacher, she said. You're proof, Rains replied. She stared at the horizon, steel blue and endless. Fine, but they don't get my name or my past. Deal, he said. You'll be Echo. 1 week later, Fort Ridgeline fog draped the mountains, the air thick with mud and rain. Recruits dragged weighted sleds, boots sinking deep. Avery Locke collapsed, her lungs burning. The instructor barked, "Get up or get out!" Kara watched from the observation deck, her black cap low. Rains was right, they were drowning. Later, the loudspeaker crackled, "New advisor assigned. Code name, Echo." Kara stepped onto the field. No insignia, just presence. The recruits stared, sensing something unspoken. Avery whispered, "Who is she?" "I'm the one who'll make you survive this," Kara said, her voice sharp. "Form up." The hours were brutal. She rebuilt their rhythm, tore through their floors, and drilled them until their bodies moved before their fear. Avery broke down during a night run, sobbing in the rain. Kara stood beside her, silent, until the tears stopped. "You think they're laughing at you?" she asked. Avery nodded, shivering. "Good," Kara said. "Use it." Weeks passed. The recruits sharpened, moving as one. Kara watched from the shadows, whispering old call signs under her breath, names that would never answer. At dusk, Rains appeared. "They're improving. They're learning pain first," she said. "Pride later," he smiled. "Sounds familiar." She didn't. "They'll get to walk away." I didn't. 3 months later. The recruits owned the course, their fear replaced by grit. Avery led with cadence, Aaron and Jordan moving like clockwork. Kara watched from the catwalk, the storm inside her heavier than the rain outside. That night, in the empty mess hall, Rains sat across from her. "Graduation's tomorrow." "You did what no one else could." "They did it themselves," she said, sipping coffee. "You taught them survival," he said. "That's more than most." "Survival isn't victory," she replied. "It's just breathing between losses." His phone vibrated. His face darkened as he read the message. 12 operators missing. Baltic Corridor. Last ping, 2 words. Kara's hand tightened on her coin. "Say it." Echo 7. Her pulse steadied. "They're calling ghosts." "We can't move officially," he said. "No authorization." "Then don't," she said. "Give me a plane, a map, and radio silence." "You know what that means?" "It means the war never ended." 3 hours later, Hangar 12 loomed in the mist. A transport plane waited, engines idling. Kara arrived in plain combat gear, her coin glinting faintly. Rains stood by the ramp. "You sure?" "They used my call sign," she said. "I'm sure." 3 figures emerged from the mist. Avery, Aaron, Jordan geared up, eyes fierce. "You weren't going without us," Avery said. "This isn't a drill," Kara warned. "Then make us ready," Aaron said. Rains shook his head. "You built a mirror." Inside the cargo hold, red light bathed the team. Avery asked, "What's the objective?" Kara laid out maps and tablets. 12 operators vanished east of the Gulf of Riga. No air support, no rescue. We bring them home, or we don't come back. The engines roared. Rains watched the plane vanish into the clouds, whispering, "Godspeed, operator." In flight, Kara checked her sidearm, the cabin dark save for the engine's hum. Avery leaned forward. "What if we fail?" "Then we become stories that never make the news," Kara said. Aaron smirked. "Shadow 9 rules?" "Exactly." Kara spun her coin on the floor, the engraving catching the light. SQ922147. "Marcus," she whispered, "still carrying your number." Thunder shook the fuselage. "Gear up," she said. 10 minutes out. The team moved as one, no hesitation. The ghost of Shadow Squadron 9 breathed again, alive in their resolve. Kara closed her eyes, her heartbeat syncing with the engines. Peace was never her design. Some soldiers are built to vanish until the world needs ghosts again.